Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Bitcoin, of course, help understand best practice and big picture. And as per usual, just so you know, the next couple weeks I'll be traveling, of course, so you might see some different backgrounds, and I apologize in future reference for the audio quality. We're going to try it today without any headphones. I think it should sound a little bit better. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look here at Bitcoin, and just so you know, it hasn't done much in the last 24 hours, so I wouldn't expect miracles, but I do feel as if we are still trending positively here in the overall sense of things. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. First of all, we're bouncing off 50 off the RSI. We did that originally a couple of days ago, and again, we're holding above. So we do have this ascending type of trend, both on the RSI and the daily, and those are positive things there as well. And we can see, of course, on smaller time frames where this actual descending trend line is kind of a positive there in a sense as we're using it as a bouncing point. I'll talk about that here in a moment when we look at the smaller time frame, but generally speaking, we're kind of drawing dead on the MACD, which is pretty normal. That really just tells us that it's not sure which way it wants to go. But again, we're retesting that level of 23,400 consistently, and I think it's just a matter of time before it breaks. Likely tomorrow and or later today, we'll see the price increase through there. So I'd just be prepared for most likely an increase versus a decrease. So a lot of the things that we looked at yesterday really just tell us that we are mostly bullish on the short term. In other words, the price action should increase from here instead of going down. A strong sell-off doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense. Looking at the 4-hour here, though, we can kind of see the RSI is kind of trending right around 50, so pretty standard stuff there. Again, kind of just drawing dead, for lack of better terms, and we can see the volume is just completely accumulating right here in this range of about 23,000. So it's a good thing, it's a positive thing for the price action to be above that. So it really helps us out a lot. Take a look at the RSI. Sorry, we already looked at the RSI. That is kind of drawing dead. The MACD is also doing the same thing here on the 4-hour. So we've got not only the daily, but the 4-hour telling us the price action is kind of going sideways. And obviously we can see that there's nothing but sideways action here. But to me, the key takeaway is that it's retesting these levels here consistently. So the likelihood of it breaking through on the next couple of attempts would be higher. We also see a strong amount of support here at about 22,500. So this could be an area of contention. Say the price were to come back down, should likely get a bounce off the ascending type of trend here. Because again, the trend is our friend, right? So as the trend continues to ascend, we can expect it to continue that until it doesn't. So at this point, it's honoring this trend line still, even so far, so good. So I think that's a really positive sign there. Taking a look at the moving averages doesn't really matter too much, honestly, at this point when everything kind of starts averaging itself out. The key takeaway, though, is that the 200-day set moving average is working its way up concurrent with this ascending trend and working as a support. So that should continue to work as a support. Heaven forbid we lose 22,500. We could see 22,000 get retested and a bounce potentially off that. So again, mostly good stuff here in that sense. Taking a look at the hourly, we're going to go ahead and see here on the hourly, the Ichimoku cloud kind of just trending right within the cloud itself. So again, no definitive lines in the sand, as I mentioned yesterday. There's nothing like specific that's telling us that should continue to progress lower. But again, the cloud is working as a support level because again, there's two levels. There's a lower lead and an upper lead. Just because we're within the cloud doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means you don't want to take a position either to the upside or downside. It's commonly the practice there. So to me, when I see this, I choose not to take entry and I kind of just like to wait. So if you are, part of my community, I hope that you can be a little, patient in this process here. I can assure you that I, definitely want to take a trade, but we want to get some confirmation first, and we don't have full-on confirmation the price is even staying above the cloud. And again, the lagging spans intersect with the price action too. This happens a lot when the price is going sideways, as it has been so far. So again, to me, I don't think it's appropriate to want to take a position at this point because there's no definitive direction just yet. But again, the overall sense of things, the way that it keeps retesting these key level resistances, tells me that we're likely to break more so to the upside than the downside. It just seems more sensible for the price action to increase from here. So that's kind of where we're at here so far. Again, not a lot of information that we can kind of disseminate from the last 24 hours of trading. We saw an attempt at a sell-off, but the price action recovers quite quickly. We are seeing higher lows still continuing to occur, and that's a fantastic thing as well. Again, I'm more concerned with having higher lows than I am with higher highs. Obviously, it's helpful to have higher highs, but when it comes to ascending type of trends here, where we're trying to break through, an actual ascending trend, that is something that's important to recognize. Another thing to note as well here, and this is just something I mentioned earlier, is when we had this descending type of trend where we kept making lower highs, You can see that lower high pattern there. When it broke above, it uses as a support level now, and those were the lower lows. So oftentimes you can see this kind of as this inception point where the descending trend is broken, and that old trend works as a support level moving forward. So that's essentially what we saw here as well, which is the main reason why I felt comfortable taking a long position with Bitcoin recently. Even though we're still technically in the red for the moment, I feel confident it's going to go ahead and recover to the green. So again, in one of those cases, you just want to be cautious and careful. But in this situation here, we're looking pretty good, and I honestly don't think that Bitcoin is in dire straits by any stretch. Okay, so we're still making higher lows. That's the important thing, and we're going to probably likely retest the 24,000 range, but we got to break 23,400 first. That's kind of what we're looking for. So here in 24 hours, hypothetically, we're going to be above 23,400. Use that as a support level and move forward from there. But I would just recommend just kind of being cautious and careful today. There are some altcoins kind of surging right now, but it's not really anything that's I don't know. It's kind of par for the course, you could say, because Bitcoin's stabilizing, and when Bitcoin stabilizes, a lot of other things happen as well. So we'll look at the traditional markets tomorrow and kind of get some better perspective on some other things as well. Interested to see if we have a gap up or gap down from the regular markets, and that'll really help us out a lot. But for now, no trade is a good trade. That's kind of what I'm thinking for the moment, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this again closer tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.